Hello and welcome everyone to a Division 1 matchup between Mizzou and Wash U in St. Louis. These are two Missouri schools going at it in Division 1, and I'm pretty excited to see it. Mizzou had a loss last week against UC Berkeley, which is one of the strongest teams in the entire league. So they're looking to bounce back this week with a win over Wash U. Mizzou was missing two key players last week. Their board one, Oprah Grigory, as well as their board three this week, Crazy Girl, who was missing because she was actually playing in St. Louis in the U.S. Women's Chess Championship. So she ended up getting second place overall, I believe, for a prize fund of like $18,000. Really impressive stuff. It was the first time she was invited to the event, and she did great. She actually beat the winner of the event, Carissa Yip, giving Yip her only loss of the entire tournament. So really cool stuff from Begim. Looking forward to seeing her games. Right now we have Antipov versus Confused. Confused is Shreya, the board 3 from Wash U. So as you can see, there's a huge mismatch here. 2779 versus 2100. This Wash U has a tough hill to climb today. And yeah, Mizzou seems to be back. I don't know if they're at full strength, but this might as well be full strength. They could have played International Master Harshit Raja, who I guess is not playing today. Instead, they have Chris Repka and Begim. Speaking of which, Begim has started her game against Snar. Snar's got a very cute turtle picture, but they're not playing. They're being slow like a turtle. So this game might be aborted if they don't make a move. Yeah, it looks like they're not moving. We'll keep an eye on this game. And there are a couple other boards that I don't see right now. I am following all the players, though, at least. So we'll just stick to this one. Hopefully the rest of Wash U wakes up. All right. So what's happening here? We have White Castle Kingside. They've launched the F pawn. They've put the king on H1, so there's no checks on the diagonal. Black has yet to castle. White just played queen to E1, perhaps looking to come out towards the king side, maybe target this G pawn. This knight is hanging, but if the queen attacks it, we could see bishop develop to defend it. Also some extra support here, perhaps, with this queen move. Also defending the knight in case this pawn wants to push for some reason. Black has just simply castled, getting the king out of the center. This queen was also opposite Black's king, so maybe don't want to have to deal with that. We have another game here with Chris Repka versus National Master Nicholas Bartochowski from Wash U. This is Wash U's best player today. I think Wash U is missing 2 of their top 4. It might be their best 2 players they might be missing, which is actually very unfortunate for them. So Nicholas might normally be their board 3, is now their board 1. So this isn't Wash U's best lineup to submit. Unfortunate for them. But they are playing Mizzou. So even if they sent their best, it's possible that they will lose either way. But we shall see. All right, Confused has played bishop d2. I would have gone bishop e3. It's a bit more active, but it does block the queen. So knight here could be a threat, perhaps, for black. I feel like knight here is a good move. The queen does come out to g3, just opposite this king. We could see f5, maybe bishop here, threaten checkmate. But that could be risky. It's a pretty solid position so far. And they're pretty close on the clock as well. 2.5 minutes to 2 minutes. So Confused is playing well. I think this position's fairly even. The king doesn't like being opposite the queen, so both kings have moved to the H file. And now we have g6 from black. So this is help preventing f5, perhaps. But it does create some weaknesses. Black might play rook f8, or rook f8 to g8, and then bring the bishop to f8. White's going in the center here with e5. So can black take? They could, but white has enough protecting this. So instead, just saving the knight, going to h5, attacking the queen here. The queen might find some safety on the light squares. Definitely don't want to go on the diagonal. You might even retreat, so the queen ends up on e3. This bishop is on a really good diagonal for black. You might even tuck back, put the queen on b7. That would be threatening checkmate, although there would be like bishop e4 to shut that down at any moment. And you get this e4 square thanks to pushing e5. So now the knight fianchettos to g7. A little awkward, but looking to come to f5 is my guess. We have a capture here on d6, so either piece will recapture. I don't know which one's better. Okay, bishop takes, a little pressure here. The knight now taking advantage of e4, hitting the bishop. Maybe the bishop will go back. Maybe black will put a piece on c5. No, they give up their nice bishop. So now they give up the bishop pair. White has the bishop pair, as well as the long diagonal. I like this bishop a lot on b7. It pointed directly at the king here, but Antipov decided that knight was intolerable, didn't want to move the bishop. So get rid of the knight, and now playing for e5. So white can simply take this. You are opening up the e-file with the rook opposite your queen if you're white, but you're also under 40 seconds now. So the time pressure is mounting. You got to make a decision here. 30 seconds to a minute 12. So they take. Now black will retake with something. 3 pieces to take with. Takes with knight. This is a nice move, actually. Also, f5 could be on the menu. So either of these knight moves hits the queen. Queen will probably want to get out of this pin. Maybe we'll see something crazy like f5 right now. This bishop could be a monster on this diagonal. But black can always block on e5 if needed. So now Antipov is in some time pressure. Yeah, this game really could go either way at this point. So Shreya's playing this really well. Okay, knight g4, and white had a response to this immediately. Oh no, you're blundering f2. Whoa, queen takes bishop. Wait, why didn't you start with rook takes? Wait, why didn't... Oh, you couldn't take. Yeah, no, queen h3 was a huge blunder. Knight f2 check was definitely an issue, but there's still a lot of time pressure. Actually, yeah, I don't understand what was queen c3. Maybe you're worried about knight. I don't know. That was wild. That was wild. Okay, bishop b7, picking up some pawns, giving up some pawns. Now pinning the knight. Rook d8 should be winning. Rook d8, bishop to e6. Black should be crushing now. So white's only hope is time. Antipov now to 11 seconds, but this should be a very easy conversion for the Grandmaster. Losing lots of material here. Rook takes, knight takes. Threatening the discoveries. Also defending the b-pawn. The king steps up. I would take this one. I guess that one's not going anywhere, so taking this one first. Still not taking this one, but threatening that now. You can't... Oh, you can go here, I guess, but... Still pretty bad. Yeah, that's game over. All right. Well done to Antipov. I have no idea what the queen sacrifice was for, but I did like knight f2 a lot, so didn't matter too much at the end. Let's check in with Chris Repka and Nicholas. What's going on here? So, looks like the material is even. White's got the bishop pair. We have opposite side castles. This knight is boxed out by the bishop. This knight's boxed out by the queen. Black just finished their development, connecting the rooks. Bishop tucks back, perhaps to kick the knight out. Knight has no good retreating squares, but the knight and the queen both converge on g4, where the knight could find some safety. So the queen steps in now. Very interesting. I don't know if the queen's going to get short on squares, but the knight also now can retreat this way. So can we attack this piece? I wonder. Yeah, rook to the g file, giving up the h pawn, but looking at rook g3, bring the other rook over. So I like white's position for sure, because f4, f5 is going to be annoying to deal with. And as well as this queen actually being pretty short on squares. We could see f4, knight back, rook lift, queen takes, bishop here. The idea is to play rook h1. And look at the time. Oh my goodness. Yeah, rook here is not the move you want to make. And white's plan is just far too obvious. Knight back. Oh, bishop here with an attack on the queen. Yeah, I don't know. A rook here. Guess the queen could still go to this square. So, okay, just taking the center now. Bishop's hit. You could take. I don't know. A pawn push. This is really a nice move. Taking on g6 now. Yeah, this is game over. You can go double up, hit the bishop, and then pawn takes as a fork. And they've got so much time to figure all this out. Yeah, so you're losing a piece here as black. You can't save both bishop and knight. Yeah, resignation. All right, let's check in with Crazy Girl. Let's give the Mizzou players their points. The GMs, Antipov and Chris, both got their first round wins. Now we got the woman grandmaster. Looks like there should be mate soon, right? Oh, bishop b4 check. Yeah. Yeah, and then queen here is GG. Oh, queen here, yeah. Either way, this is faster because there's no bishop block. But nice finish there from Begim. Let's see how this finished. We got 2 bishops versus 2 bishops. But the queen infiltrating here, along with the bishops as well. Check, queen in, bishop back. Trying to give the king some space, but the bishop here. So, really well played from Begim. We got one last game. Oh my god, wait. This is round 2 already? Shreya played against Oparin. This must have been round 2. Maybe WashU's missing their 4th board. So I don't know why Grigori was missing last week, but good to have them back. I'm trying to watch the game. The new games keep starting, and it just got rid of that game for me. That's unfortunate. Oh, chess.com. All right. Well, Philip missed round 1, so Crazy Girl had a point. Oparin is actually at 2 points now. That was a very fast win against Shreya, and I'm upset I missed it. We'll have to look at it later. So what do we have here? We have Chris now against Samik, who is the leader of the WashU team. Samik's got the white pieces. Trading light square bishops. White has played f3. Just a little awkward, but dark square bishops can be traded at any moment. Black trying to take the center. White attacking back. And black ignores it with a stronger threat of their own. Now the knight's entering. Knight here. Knight takes, pawn takes. Bishop take. We can actually take this for free now. Okay, but the knight goes here anyways. So pawn takes, bishop takes, probably knight takes. Queen takes, rook takes. We're threatening this. There's also this. I don't know. I think black is clearly the favorite here. Knight d3 check. King up. Knight takes here with check. But then king takes probably. Which is somewhat annoying. Maybe there's takes here. Okay, just saving the knight. Probably don't want to trade queens. If king takes, there's queen check. There's queen here regardless. Queen attacks this pawn. Probably rook over, yep. So black is pretty chilling. White's struggling here in this position. Let's look at Begim's game. All right, what's happening here? This position looks really weird for black. White has the very solid 2-pawn islands, only missing the D pawn. This E pawn's out here. The queen stepped back. I guess they didn't want to take this for some reason. I guess defending this pawn. So, yeah, takes. Queen back, so white has to decide, do they take? They're thinking here. White's up a pawn, so Crazy Girl maybe getting a little outplayed right now. Black has these doubled pawns. Black has pushed the F pawn. So we'll see if Mizzou or WashU's top board can get a point here against Begim. Or board 3. Let's look back at Chris's game. So yeah, optimized both rooks perfectly. This pawn is maybe hanging, but queen here, probably a good move. Yeah. So what exactly is the threat? Maybe put the knight here. I don't know. We'd love to take this. Maybe this, but knight take. Maybe knight here. No, because then queen here is going to be crushing, probably. Queen here should be mate. Close to it. Queen's over here now. Maybe looking at this or something. Okay, h6, just a flight square, a waiting move. There goes the A pawn. Yeah, I'm trying to think if we can get away with this. Take, check. It's pretty good. No, sacking the knight for 2 pawns. I guess. No, queen check now. Ooh, that's mate if the king goes back. So they have to block with something, probably the knight. Or you can take e3 now. Perhaps. Takes e3. Probably then rook check. Rook takes queen check, wins the other rook. So sacking the knight but winning a rook perhaps is best here for white. Just give up. Yeah, takes on e3. And now rook d3 probably. Or rook takes d1. Yeah, that works too. Okay, white's saying let's get the queens off the board, please. This knight covers all the checks on the dark squares, which is really nice. A knight right next to the king is always just a really good defender. Let's check in with Begim. Okay, the knight is hit. Where does the knight go? Can't go. Oh, okay. I was gonna say can't go to d5. Can't go here, but Begim decides to give up the knight rather than to go. Well, actually, the knight was trapped. Oh, this is not Begim's game. Okay. Yeah, f6. Queen d8. a5 was a threat that was missed. That is unfortunate. Yeah, okay. Playing in the center here. I mean, white's got the bishops going. This queen's really annoying. These pawns are bad. So yeah, white doesn't want to take. White would rather black take and then open this up. Triple isolated pawns. Looks like Chris just beat Samik. resignation. Okay, so let's see. Leaving the queen on, pushing here. Rook takes, king here, and yeah, rook takes. Really nice finish. Really nice finish. Nice tactic. All right, so let's make sure Chris gets the point for that. It's 2 points. Antipov should have a second point against Philip. We might have a sweep. Although, actually, Big E might lose this game. So let's see. Both players with a minute. Just about tied up. Queen to A8. Defending the C6 pawn, I suppose. Seems a bit passive. Maybe we can go here. Yeah, attack the knight, which threatens to win this pawn. So maybe you bring the other rook over, yep, to the center to defend this. Now black could take. That gives up their dark square bishop, though. Take, and then take like this. Perhaps. But Begim is down material, so she might have to go for this. Yeah, so she does. So she's got this nice pawn center. White could take, though, on e5. And yeah, this pawn is just backwards and doubled. Begim low on the clock as well. So probably taking on e5 is best, because now you open up this bishop at the king. Taking with the bishop. "15 seconds for Begim. Maybe trying to double the rooks. Also protecting g7. This queen needs to reroute, I think. This just locking the bishop in. Bishop here blocking the queen's defense, so the rook defends. Rook here. I'm not sure what this does. I would have maybe gone here, but like, yeah, this bishop's just locked in. So white should win this. It's just a matter of technique. Queen steps up here. Bishop back. I wonder if you'll go here. I don't know. I would put the bishop back, honestly. But now pawn push. Bishop here. Grigori just beat Samik. Dude, Grigori's been just beating everyone up. Okay, here you could trade. Well, you have to trade queens. This helps the pawn structure. Bishop here, that's gnarly. Bishop here. Oh, I guess rook takes is, well, just don't flag if you're Nicholas. Yeah, giving up the exchange. So, yeah, white's just up a whole rook here. Rook check, rook takes on h7, pawn push, pawn takes, rook here. This will be game over soon. Oh, Chris just be confused. The games in the latter rounds are happening faster than this one. Oh, taking with this rook is interesting. Oh, this forces a rook trade. Very smart. Yeah, okay, so we have resignation. So Nicholas getting a point for Wash U. But looks like Grigori and Chris both got their third wins. So let's see this one really quick. Just blundered a piece there with the fork, grabbing a pawn. Let's see if we can see this one as well really quick. Chris versus Confused. Nice. Both Chris and Grigori with the knight fork tactics winning material. So now we have Antipov versus Nicholas. So let's see if Antipov can get some revenge for Begim. Also, gosh, yeah, Nicholas. This is round 3 for Nicholas. And Antipov, I guess. So Antipov still has to play Samic. I think Crazy Girl should be playing Shreya soon. Or maybe they have to play Samic. No, they played Samic in the round 1. So yeah, Crazy Girl should only have 1 game left, I think. Unless Philip shows up. Philip is the 4th board for Wash U, unfortunately, a no-show, it seems. So what is going on in this game? White's got the nice connect 4 here, the pawns on dark squares. This knight's kind of awkward because this knight came over here and now this knight's defending. So black will probably try to develop their bishop to defend the knight so that they could bring their other knight out. So f6, attacking white's centermost pawn. White needs to get this knight somewhere so that the bishop can come out. So probably knight f1 at some point. Right now, probably you want to take on f6. Now black probably takes with the bishop. Knight back. This opens up the queen here as well. Also opens up the bishop. Probably you don't want to go here because you're opposite the rook with the discovery. So maybe to go here is the idea and you're threatening to win material. So yeah, black now should probably get the bishop out to bring the knight out. This is the only game happening right now. So maybe Bagim's waiting. Are there any other games that are missing? I'm not sure. Probably Antipov is missing a point. All right, so Antipov's doing well on the clock. Nicholas is thinking here under 3 minutes. Nicholas just needs to develop the pieces still. I don't know if white has any threats. Just bishop b7 or d7. Just total solid development moves. Got to do something. It's a lot of time. 2 minutes to 4 minutes now. So they decide on a6. I want to get this bishop out of here. So if bishop takes knight, knight takes knight. Bishop goes all the way home to f1. Now the other knight develops. So Nicholas need to pick up the speed a little bit here. Pick up the pace. Get some time back. So now Antipov's under 4 minutes. Yeah, if you go here, you're gonna get moved a lot. If you go here, you're gonna get hit by that. So deciding the fianchetto instead, opposite of this bishop. Wow, this is crazy. The computer says knight f5. I do not understand that move at all. To go bishop here. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Knight f5 still. Knight f5. And you have to move the queen. If you take, there's bishop f5. The queen's trapped. You have to block with something on e5. That's a crazy move to see. I don't know if Antipov missed it in the last move. So does Black because it's still available in this position. Don't know if Antipov's gonna see it. If they find that move, I'm impressed. That's a computer move for sure. Wow, there it is. Knight f5 with bishop f4 to follow. What a move. So Black should just move the queen to like c7. So I don't know like what exactly the knight's doing over here. I guess bishop f4 still, no matter what, after this. Because queen c7, bishop f4 still hits the queen. And then that gives us like knight into d6. Probably. Or actually, there's rook takes e6. Because now the queen has to lead defense of e6. Wow, what a nice move from Antipov. Now rook takes e6. Beautiful. If this knight moves, we have rook takes queen check. Or no, if the bishop moves, we need to get rid of this bishop, is what I'm getting at. Because then there's rook takes. No. I don't know why I'm trying to sacrifice. I'm trying to get knight e7 check to work, but it's defended too well. So taking here, how do we take back? The pawn or the knight? Okay, takes with the pawn. This opens the c file, so once the bishop develops, we'll have rook to c1 opposite the queen, which pins the knight. And then maybe we do have some knight e7 ideas. So Crazy Girl has started her game against Shreya. Okay, knight here. Open the bishop a little bit. Looking at c2 maybe. But yeah, white's just dominant here at this point. This bishop f4 is pretty nice. Develop with tempo. Always a good thing. There it is. Now queen c2, looking for a trade. You can just trade down. Knight takes, rook over. And then rook here is going to be pretty annoying. Less than 10 seconds for Nicholas as well. Okay, attacking this guy. You can take with check and then take here. You can also just save the rook. Yeah, I mean 8 seconds to 2 minutes as well. Let's look at Begim's game a little bit. So she just lost her last game. She's looking to redeem herself here. She's got the bishop pair. Black has a 3-on-2 majority on the queen side. Knight here hits the bishop, hits the pawn. The queen is hit. Queen steps up. So do we take the bishop or do we take the pawn? If you're black, or no, it's white's turn. Do you save the bishop and the pawn? Do you give up the bishop? Is there a better move? Okay, so b3, knight takes bishop, probably. Would be my guess. He gives you opposite bishops. Yeah, Nicholas resigned to Antipov. So, see, Nicholas now is playing the board 1, Grigori. Player's playing pretty fast. White looking to trade off this dark square bishop. Black is gambling a pawn here, no? We take here twice. That's what I would do. I would do it. No fear. No fear, Nicholas. The GM is giving you a gift. Definitely no tricks. Ah, they're scared. Scared of Grigri. I would be too. But I don't know. B5. It looked like a free pawn. I don't know. I don't know if Grigori plays B5 against anyone. Okay. Got a couple games starting now as well. Antipov versus Samik. So this is their last game. So Begim's doing well here. She's bringing the pieces in. She controls the center. Better developed. Oh, bishop f5, skewer. That's pretty. That is pretty. The bishop's going down. This game is over. This game is over. I think best is to take the knight with the rook, and then take the other piece with the pawn, defending your rook. Or trading first, but I don't know. Yeah, rook takes has to be best move here. Any queen move just loses on the spot. Down either a full queen or a full rook or a queen for a piece. Like, if you take, yeah, you don't even get the piece for it. So yeah, rook d5, best move for black, for sure. But it's losing no matter what. So bishop f5, really pretty move from Begim. Really pretty. The queen and bishop got forked. The queen, I guess, had to go back here or here to defend. They decided to go to e6 to defend, and bishop f5. That's GG. Really pretty tactic from Begim, taking advantage of this hanging bishop, the knight fork. So we'll see. Confused will either resign or take here, but best is, yeah, they resign. All right. So GG to Begim, bouncing back after her loss in the last round. And I don't know if I gave her a point against Deep Blue. I don't think so. So I think she ends the day at 3 out of 4. So every player from Mizzou is at 3 out of 3 or 4. But we do have 2 games left between the top 2 boards, Operin and Antipov. I guess Chris Repka should get a 4th point in the 4th round. I mean, Phillips still has like 10 minutes to show up, but probably they're not going to. So let's see. This is Nicholas here, not castling, giving up an exchange. So black should be winning this one. Up the exchange. Rook for a knight. This king hasn't castled, and they've played g4, which is pretty weakening. So they castle. Queen comes out with a punch to a pawn. Probably, well, I don't know. They play a4. This bishop's kind of sad, though. Rook to the d file opposite the queen. Maybe looking to attack the pawn or win the pawn, or any bishop move, really, because the queen's also attacking. Let's check out Samik's game versus Antipov. Yeah, this is looking pretty good for black. There's rook a1. There's bishop check. There's rook to the c file. So let's see. If you go here, then there's rook check. That should win material pretty easily. Whoa, they didn't do that. Huh. Yeah, rook d8 was like the very obvious follow through. But rook here, okay. Letting white off the hook, perhaps, a little bit. So they find rook d8 now. Oh, I'm not a fan of this. Just bishop here now. Bishop here, knight here. There's pawn push and knight here. Bishop check. Oh, that hits the rooks. So the rook steps back, but looking to double here. Grigori just beat Nicholas. Yeah, this is one of the best performances from any team that I've seen. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so Grigori, flawless, making swift work of the Mizzou team, or the WashU team. So Grigori missed last week, but they haven't missed a beat, winning all their games today. Who does Mizzou play next week? I want to see the pairings. Let's see. Didn't mean to do that. Okay. Week 6, Mizzou will play U Chicago. Okay. They'll play U Chicago, and then in the last week they'll play against Rutgers. Yeah, their match versus U Chicago should be pretty interesting up against a Wonder Liang. Hopefully a Wonder plays. That'll be fun to see. So giving up the rook, cutting the knight, knight check. Very interesting. Very interesting. So now, do we move this knight? We should. Well, this knight's pinned. This knight's not going anywhere. This knight, where to? Okay, knight here. And we're just going to attack this thing again, I guess. Oh, so if king here, there's this really nice move. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight fork. And you get the rook back. And you're just up a piece. So we'll see if Antipov sees it. If I see it, I'm sure they see it. They saw that, what was it? Knight f5 move. So there's no way they're just looking for better. Look at Antipov's time. I mean, they're just thinking. They're double checking everything. But yeah, bishop takes, simple as that. We have resignation. So Samit goes down. And we have 3 of the 4 players from Mizzou with the point. They were 1 game away from a full sweep. Unfortunately for WashU, they were missing a player. They were also missing 2 of their top. Well, I want to say their 2 best players. So I guess they were missing 3 whole players, which is very unfortunate for them. But yeah, Nicholas was only able to get a win against Crazy Girl Begim. So 1 point for WashU. That's rough. But it's not as rough as 16-0, which very likely could have been the case.